The human race is one of the wonders of the universe. We may be unique. And of all our remarkable properties, one stands out. It is that we are restlessly drawn to ask questions like, why are we here? What is the purpose of life? The great civilizations and cultures of the past came up with various answers, all unsatisfying, because they were made up rather than being properly investigated. So, can science come up with something better? I think so. It may sound presumptuous, but I believe science can tell us why we are here, tell us the purpose of human existence. The answer is an optimistic and inspiring one. For centuries, people tried to understand why animals were so perfectly equipped for their tasks. They assumed that there was only one explanation. The natural world was designed, and the designer was God. The Reverend William Paley, writing half a century before Darwin, put the case with his famous watchmaker argument. Imagine, Paley said, taking a walk on a heath. If you came across a rock, you wouldn't be surprised. The rock might have lain there forever. It doesn't need explaining. But a watch on the heath would demand an explanation. Its existence and complexity would require a big explanation. The intricate precision of the cogs, the accuracy with which it keeps time, these are evidence that the watch must have had a designer, a watchmaker. Surely, Paley went on, no less is required to explain the even greater complexities of nature. There must be a divine watchmaker. If I had read Paley in 1802, I would have agreed with him. But now things are very different. Charles Darwin has given us a much neater, more self-sufficient, and therefore more satisfying explanation. Darwin argued that there was no designer, and at first sight this seems like a ridiculous idea. Like Paley's watch, plants and animals appear to be staggeringly improbable combinations of their component parts, all working towards one end. Take the nuts, bolts, cogs and springs of a watch and recombine them at random as many times as you like. Only one arrangement tells the time. As the astronomer Fred Hoyle put it, the possibility that the parts of a living organism would spontaneously come together by sheer luck is about as likely as a hurricane blowing through a scrapyard spontaneously assembling a Boeing 747. So how does nature do it? Even a fly is arguably more complex than a 747. If there is no designer, how did the complexity and variety of life come about? The work of natural selection is classically illustrated by the finches Darwin found on the Galapagos Islands. There are some 13 species, all with different beaks. Yet these varieties all evolved from one ancestral species which arrived from the mainland with one type of beak. One now behaves like a woodpecker, using a cactus spine to hunt for grubs. Another now feeds on ticks, living on giant tortoises. While a third, the vampire finch, feeds on the blood of seabirds. These are all activities requiring different types of beak. Natural selection is about survival. The beaks changed because the changes helped the finches to survive. And there wasn't a designer in sight. Of natural selection explains how simple structures over millions of years eventually evolved into complex, astonishing creatures like the dinosaurs. Or us. But natural selection is not some kind of awards ceremony where nature applauds interesting new genetic mutations. It's not nature's fashion show. It's a competition to the death. Each individual within every species competes in the harsh, even bloodthirsty real world for access to resources and for opportunities to reproduce. Natural selection is all about living long enough to pass on your genes. Darwin realized that wild animals compete to survive. More are born than the food supply can sustain. Inevitably, many die young or otherwise fail to reproduce. Amidst this widespread slaughter, every animal fights a relentless battle for survival. In the natural struggle for existence, some variants were better at surviving than others, and they passed their good qualities on to the future. Natural selection explains how we got to where we are now. But does it also suggest to you a dark and troubling answer to the question why we are here? Natural selection suggests that we, like all other animals, are survival machines. We are here only to compete long enough to pass on our genes. This seems to be the purpose of our lives, the reason we are here. But can this really be the only purpose of human existence? I don't think so. Darwin's remarkable theory offers a second meaning of the word purpose. It's an inspiring one, which accords more fully with our own view of our better selves. It stems from the curious observation that we humans appear to be breaking Darwin's rules.